So what if a party comes to you and says, we've conducted the primary and this is the list, but INEC did not observe any primary? Would you accept the party's submission?
There's a possibility that we will not accept the list because the law says that you must give us notice. If you give INEC notice of the conduct of your party primary elections and we refuse to attend to observe it, if you bring your list, we will accept. If you give us notice that you are going to conduct party primary elections, and then later you write to us saying, oh, because of A, B, or C, we couldn't conduct our party primary elections. You cannot turn around to come and submit a list when you have told the Independent National Electoral Commission that you didn't conduct party primary elections.
Was that the situation in Zamfara?
That's partly the situation in Zamfara. But as I say, the matter is in court, and I wouldn't like to go deep into the legal intricacies involved in that particular matter.
So going into the 2019 general elections, let's look at the generalistic approach to this. How prepared is INEC when we hear all this bickering about some infightings within the commission?
Well, I'm not aware of any infighting within the commission. The commission as a body works through committees. And whatever work any of the committees is doing ultimately comes back to the commission as a body, and the commission takes a decision as a body. So I don't. I've also heard that the rumors. I've read about it in the newspapers, and I'm not aware of any infighting, and I don't even know what the infighting should revolve around. As of today, we've done the continuous voters registration. We've displayed the voters register. We have observed almost all the party primary elections, and then the candidates have submitted the list of their candidates, and we are cleaning it up, reading the list for publication. And we are engaged with our procurement. We have mapped out an aggressive policy, an aggressive drive on voter education. So the infighting is neither here nor there. I don't know who is fighting. Most of the national commissioners are there in the field, supervising their various states or engaged in voter and civic education. So I don't know where the fight is coming from. What I expect as of today is that the Nigerian people should support the Independent National Electoral Commission to deliver credible elections. Trying to sow seeds of discord within the commission will not help anybody. But I want to assure you that there is no seed of discord within the commission. All the commissioners are working in harmony to deliver a good election for the Nigerian people.
Mr. Okoye,
yes.
You said something earlier about INEC meant to obey all court orders.
Yes.
All.
Yes.
So there's none that is missing.
No.
You must obey all.
That's our policy.
Now, the electorate, there's some part of the electorate that get confused when INEC seems to obey one court order. You obey this court order, then another party comes up with another court order, and then you now have to, it's like you're going back and forth obeying this court order after the other court order. At the end of the day, the electorate gets to be confused as regards INEC's role in all of this. So let's look at voter education. How effective has INEC been in educating the public as regards the elections and their responsibilities and INEC's responsibilities to the electorate?
Well, as I told you, we've rolled out a massive program of voter education in preparatory for this election. All the resident electoral commissioners have been given marching orders on what to do in relation to voter education. And they are going to roll out very creative and innovative.
What are they to do?
One, most of them are engaged with the traditional rulers as of today in terms of getting them to also mobilize their people. But ultimately, the political parties also have a responsibility to also educate their people. A situation where, as of today, voters go to the polling unit and they cannot even locate the logo of the political party they support, I think is a dent on the political parties themselves. So INEC is going to do its bit in terms of civic and voter education. But the political parties must also be up to speed. Civil society groups and organizations must participate in this program. The media also has a responsibility in rolling out very clear educational programs for the voters so that all the Nigerian people will be attuned to what we are doing, and then so they can make clear, rational, and informed choices as we get to the 2019 elections. But having said that, let me just say this, that the issue of conflicting court orders is worrying to the Independent National Electoral Commission. And we have raised this concern. I was in Port Harcourt 2 days ago at a meeting, at a conference organized by the Nigerian Bar Association section on legal practice. And we raised it, that we have a situation that is giving us a lot of concern. We will receive a court order from relating to a particular political party from the same people on the same issue, saying this is the candidate that you should recognize. And then we recognize that particular candidate and accept the list. Then 2 days after, we receive another court order saying, don't accept this candidate that you have accepted. And then we remove the name of that candidate. And then thereafter, we receive another court order saying maintain the status quo. So I think that the legal practitioners that engaged in this thing should look at the national interest and see that we do not bring our judiciary to disrepute or present the judiciary in a very, very bad light, and also present INEC in a very bad light. So we have raised these concerns with the heads of the different courts. We have also raised these issues with the Nigerian Bar Association, because some of us who are lawyers are also complicit. But we are taking all these issues on board, and we believe that as we go towards the 2019 elections, that some of these challenges we reduce. But as of today, INEC has been joined in over 396 pending cases, arising from pre-election matters, arising from party primary nominations.
319.
96. And there's nothing intrinsically bad about people going to court to ventilate their grievances. But I believe that you cannot take the same grievance to a state high court before that matter is determined. You also take the same matter involving the same issues, involving the same parties to the federal high court in the state. And then you also direct a lawyer in your chambers to also come and fight the same matter before the federal high court in the federal capital territory. That is abuse of court process, and that is very, very unprofessional. So we are insisting that we should have a protocol and a mechanism where lawyers, before they file some of these pre-election matters, will sign that they have not filed the matter in any other court, and that they are not aware that the same matter involving the same people is pending in any court of law. And some of these judgments also, the judiciary must have a way of having a synergy and transmitting some of these judgments from one court to the other.
Okay, I was just going to say that. Just hold your thoughts. We'll take a moment. We'll come back to tidy up with you. Please don't go away.
Welcome back to Sunrise Daily. Now, what is INEC's stance with regards to political parties who have fielded underage presidential candidates?
Well, I think that for me, that is very novel. It's a new issue for the Independent National Electoral Commission. You know, the Fourth Amendment to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria reduced the age for running for certain offices. For the presidency, it reduced the age from 40 to 35. For House of Assembly, it reduced it from 30 to 25. Now, what happened was that 3 political parties fielded vice presidential candidates that were 33, 31, and 31. And one fielded a presidential candidate that is 33. Now, these dates are in the affidavit sworn to by the candidates themselves, and also in all the forms they filled. Now, if you look at the Section 131 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, it makes it very clear that for you to be qualified to contest for the presidency, you must satisfy the age requirement. You must belong to a political party and be sponsored by that particular political party. 3, that you must be a citizen of Nigeria by birth, and you must have also attained the age, the educational requirement. Now, the issue here is, as far as the Independent National Electoral Commission is concerned, these provisions are very, very clear. And I thought that the various political parties ought to have engaged the services of lawyers in their legal departments to do quality check and control in relation to some of these things, to make sure that they don't enter into a constitutional quagmire that will be difficult for them to contend with. We have realized this, so the Independent National Electoral Commission has drawn the attention of these 4 political parties to this constitutional infraction. As far as we are concerned, the commission, as a commission, we take a decision on what to do. We may decide to disregard their nominations, because the nomination affects also their presidential candidates, because both of them have the same qualifying criteria. And the period for nomination of candidate has closed. The window for substitution has closed. So as far as we are concerned, we may just disregard what they have submitted since they don't have a candidate in the election.
As of today, let me just ask you this question. As of today, what is the number of registered voters?
I cannot give you the number of registered voters as of today. This is because, we carried out continuous voters registration, and we registered almost 50 million new voters. Now, the chairman did inform the media that when we ran AFIS on some of them, 300,000 names have also been removed from the voters register. It is when we finish the cleanup of the voters register that we can now give the Nigerian people concretely the number of registered voters in Nigeria. But from my own reading, we are going to have up to 80 million registered voters for the 2019 elections.
Very impressive. Must thank you indeed for talking to us. Festus Okoye, the National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education of the Independent National Electoral Commission, for sharing those latest developments and thoughts about your preparedness towards the 2019 general elections.
Thank you very much.
And that's how the show has been. Thank you indeed for watching. I am Gimba Omar.
I'm Neota Egbe. Enjoy the rest of your day.
The views and opinions expressed by guests on this program are those of the maker and do not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, and endorsement of Channels Television.